So, here with Taylor, we have just written a guide of how to hire a general manager. And since we're recording around September, so it's around like the start of football season. So, I thought it would be fun to do a draft out of our guide of the top 3 kind of draft pick tips from the guide. But, I do a lot of videos on this page. Taylor, you're my like talent acquisition wizard. That's how I tell people about you. Maybe do you want to do just like a little introduction while I pull up what the guide looks like?
Yeah, certainly. People are your biggest asset. So you've got to be great at finding people. And there's so many people that hate hiring. And this is one of the most critical things that you can do for your business. I love doing it. I love doing it with the right people, but I love making a mutual connection that's beneficial for both parties. A great job, a great employee can be life changing to a business and to a person.
Absolutely. And so that's why we put together this guide, right? So I won't like go through it, but like we put some time into this. It's like a 16-page guide on what to do. So out of these 6 pages, there's a ton of things in here. We're basically gonna pick our top 6, and each of us are gonna pick a top 3, like a football draft. So Taylor, you're the one who really makes all the magic happen. So you're gonna get the first pick.
Well, my people make the magic happen. So I'll take that first pick. And I would certainly say core responsibilities. So many times people want to hire an office manager or they want to hire a bookkeeper, but they start ticking away at their list of responsibilities. And so many things fall under that umbrella. It's really good to define what you need this person to do, what you would love for this person to do, and create more of a basket of this is my ideal person and go in with things that you can really wrap wrap your minds around, and make sure that it's something reasonable with your salary. But most importantly, you have to have their position defined with responsibilities daily, monthly, yearly.
Yeah, and I think it's that daily, monthly, yearly that's where we really make a lot of the progress, right? Because I think everyone that we talk to can be like, I need them to do some big picture thing. And I'm like, okay, but then like tomorrow, what would you need them to do?
Exactly.
That's what I expected to go first round. That's a good one. So for my first pick, I'm going to take the assessment. We always do an assessment. This is what we recommend for people of, hey, you get your job ad out there. And then I know for a lot of owners, and even for us, right, we get a lot of applicants, a lot of resumes, but then we always build an assessment, a few questions, and we're looking for, can the person answer a question thoughtfully, right? Just 4 sentences. Grammar is not what we're looking for. Does their thought like demonstrate that they can actually do the job? Like, hey, we know that they need to do this every day. In their answer, they've said something like that. And then I think the third important part of it is that they did it. Like, we will write a job description, and then we want to see that someone read that and it's like, "Oh, that's exciting to me." And that's someone if they're willing to do that, then they are probably going to show up for an interview and talk about the job. So I like that we do an assessment. It is built on the core responsibilities that you took in the first round, but I like that as a nice screening tool. And that really helps us build the profile of who are we trying to hire.
Absolutely. I love it.
All right, you get a second round pick here.
So I think for the second one, I'll go with soft skills. I think that's more important than required skills and experiences. And that's because, again, this person is taking over your business in a sense. They are going to have to operate like an owner. And what does this person look like? Are they nice when they walk into an interview? Are they nice to your employees? Are they cordial? Do they laugh? Do you want somebody that laughs? Or do you want somebody that is cut and dry, straight to the point with no engagement? These are things that you can really pick up on when you meet with somebody. I think it's one of the biggest things that there is that you tap into in any type of interview. And I think that that's what sets us apart.
That's true. And you and I will frequently talk behind the scenes about this because soft skills means different things in different businesses. And so the soft skills needed for a home care business is a lot different than in a manufacturing plant. And we often get from owners, someone's got to have great soft skills. But then you and I are kind of like diagnosing that owner in some ways and being like, soft skills for this person means really, really direct. And then soft skills somewhere else is like, they're very nice, excruciatingly nice.
Exactly.
And, okay, so that's a good segue because for my second round pick, I want to take the why. Because when I talk to owners, because I do a lot of the initial calls, right, an owner will be like, I think I need a manager, busy. But then it comes down to like, there are a few different reasons why. Like, are you just trying to like take it easy, have a better lifestyle, and we're doing a 1-for-1 swap of your responsibilities? Or do you need a general manager because you're trying to grow the business and you've got to go from 0 to 60 over the next, so many days? The person you need to help manage scaling is a lot different than just keep things the same day to day. And honestly, sometimes we talk about a general manager and the sales director. And we find out that, maybe, we're not even talking about the right role. So that's kind of where it's like, why are we doing this is really important, because then I think that does influence the core responsibilities piece and just even maybe the whole direction that we may going in terms. It's also just interesting as it gets people in the mentality of like, where am I going in my business in my life? So that can be really, really critical. So the why, that's my second pick. Now you got one more.
Well, and I'm so glad you said this because it goes right back into when you take these most important things. My third pick is definitely going to be the job description. You got to know what you want. And when you put that job description out there, again, you have to have that tactical information to work with. Do you have to have a degree? Does this person need some sort of sales experience in a certain arena? There's likely transferable skills that you can put within that job description that will truly leverage you because it will tap into a different market of person. I firmly believe that that job description should be a hard requirement. Again, back to the degree. Or you can even, this is a little bit dated, but you can take typing. If this person is typing all day long, if they're doing excruciating contracts or anything like that, they have to have a certain typing speed. It's so important to just really say, I really don't want to flex on these things. I really want these to be my hard yes, hard no type things. And if you want to bend on a few things, that's great. But you should always go into your job description with as few words as possible what this person needs to do.
I'm glad you drafted that one, especially since you write a lot of the job descriptions that we do, and they're always very good. Like, look, I see for like we could go on Indeed right now and see other people's job descriptions for small businesses, and it'll be unclear what does the company do. Sometimes it'll be unclear. I know what this company does, but I don't know what they want me to do. And you've always done a very good job of making the job seem exciting and be very clear about what it is that we're asking for. And that's going to get you more applicants. And I think we see owners who are like, it's impossible to hire. And then all you end up doing is like, you take all this information and then you create a really good JD. And then all of a sudden, now that I know what this job is, I want to apply to it. All right. Last pick of the draft, my pick. I am going to take self motivation. I think it's like the very specific small business thing that we do that is different from any other. This would not be as important. Of course, the corporates are going to disagree, but for a small business, like, right, every day is a dollar to be earned or lost. And if you're having a general manager, we've always talked about self motivation, and we've got to look for someone who's self motivated. So I think that's a really critical part. So that's going to be my last pick. And more than just, oh, we need to look for it, and that's like a tip of what to look for, because that's kind of obvious. We always make sure that when we're asking questions that we're hearing, there was this problem at my last experience, some past experience, and I identify the problem, right? They look for things that are wrong, and then I solve that problem without anyone telling me how to do it. You need to have those two things, like found a problem on their own, solved it on their own, because if you're an owner and you have to show someone what the issue is and you have to tell them, or you have to tell them how to solve it, you may as well not have a general manager. So let's see, we've got on your team, you've got core responsibilities, soft skills, job description. And then the other top three tips out of the guide on my team are assessment, the why, and self-motivation. And so together, we're essentially saying those are the top 6 things that owners should do if they're going to do it themselves, or the top 6 things that they get from us when they have us do it.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. All right. Well, Taylor, I appreciate you joining us for my football draft concept and talking about the general manager guide that we put a bunch of work into. So appreciate your time. And I'm sure I'll talk to you a little bit later today, probably.
Yeah, thanks. This is great.
Yeah. All right. Until next time.
Bye, Joe.